I help women build really wild and radical businesses and a lifestyle to match using somatics and business strategy, and also the simple question of what is it that you want? And the reason why this question is so profound is because as women, no one freaking asks us what it is that we want. No one asks us. No one sits and asks that question and then really waits to hear what our answer is. And even if they do ask us, it's like this little tiny blip of an amount of time where we better hurry up and say what it is that we want so we can grasp our only chance of being able to have it. And, I could go on and on about the conditioning or how we're taught to be good girls or hyper attuned to our environment or other people's needs, et cetera, et cetera. But the fact is, no one's asking what we actually want. No one's giving us the space to actually feel into what our answer is. And then also, even when we are able to say it, if we ever were to change our mind or realize that underneath our desire, there's actually a bigger desire, there's often like a negative consequence for changing our minds around what we want. And then we're not taken as seriously, or we're written off as crazy, or just like whatever those negative stereotypes are. So much in my sessions, it's like I'll start off the beginning of the call and I'll be like, what is it that you want to walk away with at the end of our time together today? And what I love about that question is it helps us consolidate and be able to prioritize exactly what needs to happen today in order for the things that we want to be able to be realized onto this plane. But the second thing that I love about that question is it really pops like the witness, the spotlight onto the person who's in front of me and like really genuinely asking, what is it that you want? And what will happen a lot of times is people will start to get really squirmy, and some ideas, or it's almost like different like voices jump in about like, well, I do want to have this, but there's all these other reasons why I can't have it. And like, I do want this, but I don't want it like the way this other person has it. And well, I could want this, but, and a lot of times women will apologize and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like this question is so hard to answer. And my response is like, don't be sorry. This is 100,000% a part of the process. Because when someone is truly giving us the space to feel into and try on what it is that we truly want, we get closer and closer to what the truth is. And no one has asked you and no one has given you the space to like really tune into and feel into that. And when we're talking about building the business that you want and the life that you want with the clients that you want and the schedule that you want and the money that you want, every time I said something, I said that you want. And so much of our responses when we're talking about or responding to a question of like, what is it that I want? A lot of other people's energy, or that kind of like what you would say when you were rushed, would become the answer. But when we really give you the space to feel into what it is that you want, it then becomes easy to see what the steps are to move forward. And along with that is the permission to change your mind, and also the acknowledgement that just because you're giving yourself permission to want what you want right now, it doesn't mean that you're saying no to all the other things that you want. And it's actually in giving yourself that permission to want and have the thing that you want that will then have the space, the time, the energy, and the capacity to start to move those other pieces into place. So if you feel like playing around with the question, what do you want? Try on different things that you want. Give yourself permission to want something for an hour and see what happens. What happens in your body when you really let yourself want it? Can you even like find like a flirty energy with the things that you want?